up, YouTube? What's up? No, I'm just playing. We're here with a reaction to the most. We react to a lot of things, anything, whatever, just did a reaction. But 7 baby killers attacked by parents in the courtroom. First, you shouldn't be killing kids. Rest in peace to the kids. You shouldn't even be doing that. I just think that's just dumb as fuck. But we're gonna react to it. Let's see. And let's just see. Ooh, put a hand on him like that. Shouldn't have put a hand on a little kid.
All 7 defendants have something in common. They all murdered.
Why do they look like that?
Innocent children. However, they're about to find out that even the hallowed walls of a courtroom could never save them from the wrath of a parent. The death of a young child is always shocking, but it is even more chilling when they're brutally murdered. In the case of 11-week-old Parker Bowes, he was murdered by none other than his father. Take a seat at Gibson County Courthouse. Judge Robert Craig is about to deliver the final verdict of Parker Bowes, a father sentenced for the unthinkable crime of ending his infant son's life. However, someone else in the courthouse would deliver an even more vicious retribution. All seemed well in a small Indiana town until its peace was shattered in May 2018. The reason? 11-week-old Parker Bowes was found lifeless. His fragile body had been subjected to blunt force head trauma. You would think the perpetrator was some depraved deviant lurking in the night, but it turned out to be his father, 23-year-old Quinn Bowes. As investigators pieced together the grim details of Parker's final moments, the evidence pointed out that Parker had been attacked by his father, even though Quinn claimed the baby had gotten his bruises from an accident. Arrested and charged with first-degree murder, Quinn faced the possibility of 40 years in prison. However, things took an unexpected turn when Quinn's trial was abruptly cancelled and a plea agreement was reached. In exchange for the dismissal of the more severe charge of first-degree murder, Quinn pled guilty to a level 2 felony charge of domestic battery resulting in death. This plea agreement significantly altered the course of Quinn's fate, reducing his potential incarceration.
A judge has sentenced Quinn Bowes to 19 years in prison and 6 years probation.
The final judgment handed down was 25 years, with 19 years to be served in prison and the remaining 6 on probation. As Quinn Bowes was led out of the courtroom to serve the sentence of 25 years pronounced upon him, Jeremiah Hartley, known affectionately as Matt, the baby's uncle, was overcome with a torrent of grief and rage. In a moment that would become etched in the memories of all present, Matt lunged forward, swiftly attacking Bowes. This act of raw, unbridled emotion resulted in Matt facing a battery charge and 179 days in jail for contempt of court.
Should have caught him flipping outside.
We destroyed an enemy cruiser.
No way y'all trying to.
In June 2022, a Cincinnati courtroom became the center of a sensational scene. Decien Brown, after brutally murdering a mother and her 3-year-old son, sat patiently in the courtroom awaiting his verdict. What he wasn't expecting was the father of his 3-year-old victim delivering instant justice. Let's head to the Hamilton Common Plea courtroom, where we're about to witness the raw and unbridled reaction of a heartbroken father seeking retribution for an unspeakable loss. Decien Brown, a 23-year-old man, found himself at the center of a criminal investigation that gripped the public's attention and evoked a powerful reaction from the community. Also at the center of this criminal case were the victims, Nitisha Lattimore and her 3-year-old son, Nilo. On December 5th, 2020, Nitisha Lattimore met a gruesome fate when she was fatally stabbed. However, that wasn't the worst part. Her lifeless body was left in her Walnut Hills apartment for days before Brown, in a chilling act of callousness, attempted to dispose of her in the Ohio River. One would think this was where the atrocity ended, but Brown proved even more merciless, a move that still defies comprehension as he took Nilo, still alive and undoubtedly terrified, and threw him into the river too. The boy's body has never been recovered, leaving a wound in the heart of the city that may never heal.
It hurt my heart to know my son out there and I can't bring his body home. And he did that to him.
As the investigation unfolded, the evidence began to paint a picture of premeditation and cover-up. Brown had obtained a body bag, a detail that suggested a level of planning that made the crime all the more heinous.
Tonight, a new motive revealed for the killings of a 3-year-old and his mother. Deshaun Brown is accused of murdering Natisha Lattimore and her son Nilo in 2020. Reporter Courtney Francisco joins us live now. And Courtney, detectives say this motive could have stemmed from a miscarriage that woman had?
According to reports,
miscarriage.
Natisha had been pregnant with Brown's baby, but she miscarried. Unfortunately, Brown believed she killed his child and decided to seek revenge. Brown was arrested and charged with aggravated murder, tampering with evidence, and gross abuse of a corpse. The defense...
It's not her fault. I mean, like I said, it's not her fault. You know, just because things happen, he shouldn't have been doing what he did, though, to her. It's not his fault, her fault.
Argued that Brown suffered from bipolar disorder, which should exempt him from the death penalty. The judge declared that while Brown may indeed have bipolar disorder, it did not impair his ability to exercise rational judgment or appreciate the nature, consequences, or wrongfulness of his conduct.
He suffered from a severe mental illness at the time of the offenses charged, and that severe mental illness significantly impaired his capacity to exercise rational judgment.
What no one was prepared for was to witness the courtroom become the stage for a drama that would see raw emotion and legal proceedings intertwine in a spectacle that was heart-wrenching. As the courtroom proceedings went on, the father of Nilo, Antonio Hughes, could no longer contain the rage brewing within him. He lunged at Brown with a ferocity that was both shocking and heartbreaking. The image of a father, driven by grief to confront the accused, would remain etched in the minds of all who witnessed it. He was eventually ordered to serve 7 days in jail for contempt of court.
7 days, that's... You didn't even want to spend no days
As the
in there,
gavel came down at the Wayne County Circuit Court to seal the fate of Jasmine Gordon and Clifford Thomas, convicted in a case that shook the community to its core, the courtroom's solemn air was just about to be shattered. Just as the duo was sentenced, the father of their 3-year-old victim had some parting gift for them. Take a seat in the courtroom as we unravel the details of this tragic case and a father's heartbreaking reaction to being robbed of his little girl. The relationship between Jasmine, her boyfriend Clifford, and little Jamila Smith was a complex web, with Jamila depending on the couple for care and protection. All of this changed on September 18th, 2014, when Jamila was rushed to the hospital, unresponsive. The emergency medical technician who responded to the call pressed Jasmine for answers, but was met with silence. The forensic pathologist painted a grim picture of abrasions and internal bleeding, a torn pancreas, all undeniable signs of abuse. Jamila's death was ruled a homicide, and Jasmine and Clifford were apprehended. Throughout the trial, the courtroom was a battleground of emotions, especially as testimonies from medical personnel who attended to Jamila indicated abuse.
The child had over 50 injuries, and they were at various stages of healing. The medical examiner also testified that it is highly unlikely that this child could have inflicted these wounds upon herself, even if she was clumsy.
Jasmine Gordon appeared emotionless throughout the court proceeding, her demeanor a stark contrast to the crime committed. Even the judge's scathing remarks weren't enough to get a reaction from her.
Pretended like you did not know that your child was being abused, either by you or the man that sat at home all day with your child while you worked and he did not.
As the court proceedings went on, Dwayne Smith, Jamila's grieving father, seemed to have had enough. In an unexpected move, he struck Thomas with a blow across the jaw, and a brawl ensued. The deputies intervened quickly, pulling the two men apart. In the aftermath, the judge decided not to hold Dwayne Smith in contempt, and Clifford Thomas declined to press charges. Judge Margaret Van Houten delivered the sentence, with Jasmine Gordon receiving 7 to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter and an additional 14 to 25 years for first-degree child abuse as an aider and abettor. Clifford Thomas was handed a sentence of roughly 6 to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter and 1 to 2 years for resisting and obstructing a police officer.
Right now, I guess we're supposed to, in our hearts, forgive this clown. Who's touched our families, taken my child.
You touched your child.
While our initial cases were focused on the murder of young children, our next child in the heartlands of Ohio serial killer Michael Madison leaped over a table to attack the defendant in court just minutes after the judge pronounced a death sentence. Take a seat at the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, where this dramatic scene unfolds. The warmth of a loving family. As he stumbled into adulthood, Madison's name began to surface in the criminal underworld with a long list of drug convictions starting from the early 2000s. But it was in 2002 that his true nature began to reveal itself. Convicted of attempted rape, Madison was registered as a sex offender, but this was just the beginning of his criminal spree. On July 19, 2013, the world would get to know about Madison's heinous crimes when police responded to reports of a foul odor coming from a garage leased to Madison. Upon further investigation, they discovered a decomposing body lying inside. The investigation quickly intensified as law enforcement officers combed the area. Within a day, 2 more bodies were unearthed, one in a backyard and another in the basement of a vacant house. The proximity of the bodies, all found within 100 to 200 yards of each other, wrapped in plastic bags, was an indication of the calculated nature of the crimes.
Chilling headline from East Cleveland. Authorities believe
Become the master of the air, the thunder of the seas, or a tank fury in the epic multiplayer action game War Thunder. It's a whole world of
they could very well have a serial killer in custody. 3 bodies found already. Investigators say they've been told by the suspect there could be more, all of them women. Police, the Sheriff's Department, the FBI, all on the scene tonight.
The victims were identified. Shatisha Sheely, 28 years old, had been missing since September 2012. Angela Deskins, 38, a resident of Cleveland, was reported missing in June 2013. And Sherelda Helen Terry, just 18, was last seen on July 10, 2013. Leaving a Cleveland elementary school where she had a summer job. Madison was charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder in July 2013, and his bail was set for $6 million. The trial of Michael Madison commenced on April 4, 2016, and the prosecution presented a case built on a foundation of evidence, painting a vivid picture of Madison's guilt in the murders of Sherelda Terry, Shatisha Sheely, and Angela Deskins. Madison, however, showed no remorse for his actions. It was a gesture that would provoke an intense response from Van Terry, the father of victim Sherelda Terry. Overcome with grief and anger, Terry lunged at Madison in a moment that captured the raw pain of a parent who had lost his child to a monster.
Right now, I guess we're supposed to...
Yeah, long, huh? How many dozen?
Which touched our families, taking my child.
Terry was later released without charges, his outburst understood by many as the reaction of a heartbroken father in the face of unimaginable provocation. Madison was eventually found guilty on all 13 counts.
It is a judgment of this court that the aggravated circumstances of course of conduct, felony murder, kidnapping, felony murder, rape, of which the defendant was convicted, outweigh the mitigating factors by proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
He was eventually sentenced to death for the murders of all 3 victims.
Accordingly, the sentence of death is imposed upon the defendant Michael Madison on counts 1, 4, and 7.
At the Merced County Superior Court, 18-year-old Devon Motswain was about to discover that being in the courtroom would not save him from the swift hands of instant justice. Charged with the murder of 9-month-old Darius King Grigsby in a senseless drive-by shooting, someone no one ever expected to seek justice. On November 9th, 2022, 9-month-old Darius King Grigsby was accused Devon Motswain's soul. Upon his arrest, Motswain had revealed there might be others involved in the shooting, toddler's mother. Motswain, however, surprised everyone by pleading not guilty to the charges of murder and attempted murder. As Motswain stood before the judge, an unforeseen act of violence erupted. James McRae, an inmate with his own set of charges for a separate crime, broke the confines of order and launched an attack on Motswain that shocked the courtroom and community. While many applauded his actions, understanding that he perhaps understood the pain of losing a young one, it still didn't change Motswain's plea. Motswain is presently locked up in the county jail, and his sentence has not just concluded.
And emotions well, look, y'all know what to do. Gotta like, comment, subscribe down below. And, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta hit that follow button. You know what I'm saying? Tune in, tap in. Because if you don't hit that subscribe button or anything like that, I'm gonna tongue down your auntie. And you don't want me to tongue down your auntie. So you're gonna have to hit that subscribe button. Okay, Blair? Alright. Bet, Blair.